Well, hello everybody. I'm Matt Hensley, Executive Director of Austin Classical Guitar. And since so many of us these days are cooped up in our houses, not getting together and seeing each other, we thought it would be fun to do a few little guided tours through some of the music that we love here at Austin Classical Guitar. This month, we're going to have our great friend Grisha, the spectacular flamenco guitarist, come here and play for us on March 29th, but he's not coming. And so we thought it would be a nice thing to go through a little tour of some of the fun videos that we know of him. And the videos that I've queued up for you today, actually most were made right here in Austin. In fact, I was in the room when many of them were recorded. So this should be a lot of fun. The first video that I have for you was recorded in the KUTX Studio 1A at the University of Texas during an interview that Grisha was doing with John Ailey. I was in the room, and the piece is called Cepa Andaluza. It's a bulleria by Paco de Lucia. The thing to listen for is just power and intensity and speed. The sound just explodes off of the strings when Grisha plays. It's so exciting, and the video is amazing. The piece itself first appeared on a Paco de Lucia record at the beginning of the 1970s. And I think it's worth noting that Grisha really came to know Paco de Lucia through records when he was a young person in Russia, and ultimately would become friends with Paco de Lucia, and Paco de Lucia would help him in his career as he moved on into international stardom. So it's kind of nice to think about that connection as you're listening to that particular piece. The second piece that we have queued up is a piece by Manuel de Falla called La Vida Breve. And this is actually performed in a duo performance with Grisha and the Belgian guitarist Jérôme Mouffe. And the two of them came here to Austin, played some concerts for us, and we also got them into a studio of Woody Harrison and made this particular video along with a few others, one of which I will also include in the playlist. And so it's a lot of fun to think about the two of them in a studio right here in North Austin making this particular video. It's a wonderful quintessential Spanish piece. You'll probably recognize the melody when you hear it. The third video I have is a palate cleanser. It's kind of tangentially related to Grisha in that this was a bunch of kids, almost 100 of them, performing Carl Jenkins' Palladio, conducted by Travis Markham, our Director of Education, right before Grisha performed at the Long Center. So we see a whole bunch of kids playing beautifully on the Long Center stage, and I thought that would be a nice thing to include. Incidentally, that music was written by Carl Jenkins and made famous because it was used by the De Beers Corporation for their diamond commercials. So if you've heard the tune before, then maybe perhaps that's where you've heard it. We go on with another video by Paco de Lucia, performed as a duo with Jérôme and Grisha again in that same studio of Woody Harrison. It's called A Pesar de Todo, and it's a wonderful piece. It's kind of fun, it's light, there's a cute little middle section, and then it gets serious again. And then our grand finale for the main concert is a recording of Flight of the Bumblebee, again by Grisha and Jérôme. This, of course, is the classic Rimsky-Korsakov virtuoso piece, and they perform it like you wouldn't believe. Very excited to share that with you. And that was actually at a performance right here in a living room in Austin, Texas. And I was sitting right by the camera, who incidentally was operated that day by Arlen Neidham, who has taken a lot of the photographs and video for Austin Classical Guitar for probably more than a decade now. I have two encores for you as well. The first encore is Baby Grisha. This is a very young Grisha in Russia playing a super famous piece called Sardas by Vittorio Monti, and this is an arrangement that Paco de Lucia actually did. And here you see a very young kid performing in a massive auditorium for I don't know how many people, 1,000 plus people, and it's really super cute. So I hope you make it that far into the playlist. And then finally, as sort of a second dessert, following dessert, I included a video that I'll simply call Angelica. And it is the story of one of our longtime students and her journey with us at Austin Classical Guitar. And I include it in this playlist because It was made by Woody Harrison, who is the same person who took those two studio videos of Jérôme and Grisha. So I hope you love this little experience listening to the great artist Grisha. I so look forward to being in a room together when we can experience his artistry in person. But between now and then, I hope you love these videos. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.